Good morning. It is day 5 and our final day of this Lay the Foundations to Your Creative Business Challenge. I hope that you've had a good opportunity to get a glimpse of the type of deep work that is needed to do and create a successful marketing plan. And if you didn't know that's what you were doing, that's what you were doing all of these little pre-exercises. So today what I wanted to do was just talk a minute about recap what we've talked about, just so that we've got it all in one video, and talk about that final step in the challenge, which is committing to your idea. So let's take a minute and look back over what you've done so far. The first day, day 1, was all about getting clear on your business idea. And the exercise that you did for this was your ideal day exercise. And what I hope that you garnered from doing this exercise was how your business idea could actually fit into your ideal day. And does it fit in at all? This can help to just weed out some of the ideas that aren't really going to serve you in this ideal scenario. Which is, the ideal is really what you're trying to get to, right? There's no point in trying to put other people's ideals on you. You want to come from a place that is aligned with your true values and your true heart. And so let's build a business that starts from that place, right? That starts from what you really, really, truly want to do. Everybody in this group has, come up through other jobs, positions, challenges, life situations, life circumstances. We're all varied, but we all have that desire to do something a little bit more with our creative talents other than just enjoy it for our own personal pleasure. So that's going to involve us, not losing sight of that real, deep part of us that wants to create and do something that is aligned. That's what I'm all about. I don't believe that we should try and fit into other people's ideals. We have to work from a place of alignment. Okay, so all of that, an underlying theme through all of our themes this week has actually been making a decision, right? And being decisive, because without that decision making process, you're not going to make any traction forward. So you've got to decide on your idea. And like I said, I think I said this, and if I didn't, I need to say it. It's not forever. It's just for a short period of time. So 90 days. When we're doing a marketing plan or we're thinking about marketing a business, you have to think about a time frame, and you have to think about one thing at a time. It's truly impossible, especially being an individual entrepreneur, to think of several marketing plans for several different ideas, several different types of customers, and especially if they're very varied, right? It's very, very challenging. It's not impossible. And certainly when you have a team, you can do a lot of that, like you have a bigger business. But when you're just starting out, you get so much power in just picking one and moving forward with that. So I want to, again, encourage you to choose and be decisive. Take decisive forward action, at least for the next 90 days, right? For at least 3 months. And that will really help you to get some clarity and traction around where you're trying to go. Okay, so getting clear on that idea. Again, if you're stuck on any of this challenge is still here. It's open. I will be active in this particular group at least for another couple of days, probably the next week, if you need to go back and redo this. Okay, so that was day 1. Day 2 was all about getting clear on your business model. Now, what I wanted to do with this day was to introduce you to the concept of a business model and how you're going to monetize your craft. Because again, it's all very well doing a hobby for hobby's sake, but it's different when you're trying to do it as a business. You've got to think about the idea all the way through to the exchange of money, right? And how you're going to get paid for your services. And I also want to encourage you that if you're already in business, think about how you are currently charging and making money from that process and that product or that service, and think about other ways that might be better suited to you. So, for example, we talked briefly about the whole concept of value-based pricing, rather than cost plus margin, right? So that you can actually create a higher quality product, a higher value product, and charge more for it. And that might mean that you do less of it, but it's a better, higher a higher margin, so you don't need to do the volume, right? So that can be a really kind of a good way to go, especially if you're this is not your only business or your like big business idea for the rest of your life, right? This is just something as a side. I hate to use the word side hustle because I don't believe it should be a hustle at all, but a side thing, right? I hope you follow what I'm saying there. So by doing that value-based pricing, you don't have to like crank out the widgets the same way as you would do if you were doing cost plus margin. Okay, so that is one thing, and also being able to just try and think about other ideas that you might not have necessarily thought about. We introduced the brainstorming tool that day as well, which is such a really powerful little exercise to be able to get everything out of your head. Okay, so that was day 2. Day 3, we talked about getting clear on your customer. And this is a very much a foundational exercise in all of marketing and will stand to you as you go through your marketing planning and implementing all of the bits and pieces. Because marketing is not just about promotion. Marketing is not just about sales. It's not just about advertising. It's everything in your business, from how the product looks to who you're serving, how you speak to them in your messaging, in your copywriting, and how you serve that customer and how you do the after service of that customer as well, right? Marketing is everything. There's a quote, I think, that it's like, marketing isn't what is this thing? Oh, I'm so bad at remembering quotes. I think, what is it? It's not, marketing isn't the biggest thing, the most important thing in business. It's the only thing in business. I think that's it. It's not the biggest, the most important thing. It's the only thing, because without marketing, you just have, a hobby, a thing. It's not actually making any money and it's not serving anybody. So getting clear on your customer is super important. Now, some of you had said in the group that there was, you might have different customers. You might be wholesale. Okay. And I still want you to think of that end customer in mind, right? Have that end customer. Wholesale is a little different because you're targeting a bigger group, at a different kind of a cost structure and everything else, but you're still making it for that end customer. We still have to think about the end person who's going to be using your thing, right? So I want you to broaden out your definition of a customer to actually that end user that's going to be using it, while at the same time you still have to hold the wholesale kind of middleman in there as well. And we can certainly talk more about that in the group, and we probably have done if you're watching this recorded video. All right. Second of that's what I wanted to say about customers. So I have some notes here. Choose. That's the other thing. It's just like the day 1, day 2. Choose, make a decision of who that customer profile is, puff it out, expand on it, but decide, because we need one marketing strategy for each target market, right? You may have several different target markets, but try and kind of rein them in as what is the underlying values that they all have, what's the commonalities, and that will really, really help you. Okay, day 4 yesterday was all about validation of your idea. And super important to validate your idea, because the validation will give you the confidence to move forward in a way that is not time wasting, right? If you do the whole stuff without validating the idea, what happens is you have this beautiful thing that nobody wants, right? Or you have this really awesome idea, but there's just not a big enough market for it, or it's too hard to reach it, right? Or it's too competitive. Somebody's already doing that better than you, right? So this is the place where we put the stories to one side. We take the stories of all of the reasons why somebody doesn't like our idea or something's not working to one side, and we go ahead and we be brave and we be courageous and we float our idea in front of somebody, whether it's showing them a product, giving them a demonstration, giving them a taste of your work in some way. We're just asking, is it something they would spend money on? And take the story out, don't get don't get involved in this is a part of me or anything like that. Just be a scientist and test and see if it flies, and then ask for the feedback. And if it is exactly what they want, then run with it. And if it is not what they want, ask why and then fix it and run with that. Trial and error is your friend. And if you're already in business and you've already got a successful business and it's working exactly the way that you want, then good. Like, you've already got to this point, right? You've proven your concept works. So your next job is to really get in front of more customers and more clients, right? So that's kind of a little bit outside of the scope of this course, because it's kind of still important to think about all of these things. But if you've got a winning idea, let's go, right? If it's so good, people are knocking down the doors, then you don't really have an issue at all, right? But if it's not, then come back and look and see what it is. You want to make sure that we're going down a path that is satisfying our customers that we want to serve, making sure that that's all in alignment. Okay, so day 5 is today, right? Today's our last day. So really, I wanted to give you some time to catch up on all of these exercises and to ask some questions. And then today is going to be the day that you commit to your idea, right? So you're going to commit to your idea, commit to your business, and make this commitment to yourself. Now, what does committing to your idea look like? Well, there's several different things that you can do to commit to your idea. And a lot of times it will involve stepping up to the plate and, drawing the line in the sand and saying, okay, I'm going to do this, and having a good, strong conversation with yourself, right? Might involve having conversations with other people, right? It might say, listen, I need help and support with, several different things. I need extra time. I gotta, take the cleaning off of my schedule. I need to hire a cleaner, whatever it is, right? It's going to look so different for every person. But I want you to really just take some time today and think about what that is. What is what involves what is involved in you committing to this going forward? And a really good question to ask yourself, and I've probably used it already this week in the group, is what am I going to have to say no to if I'm going to say yes to this, right? And that's the beauty of doing something within the ideal day. If you're already living that ideal day and you've got time already scheduled out for your business, then you've got this, right? You've got it. You're not going to have to say no to anything. But if that's how you're thinking, I want to prompt you and prime you to think further and think, okay, well, if I'm already doing it, why am I not getting the success? What is it that you're spending your time doing? Are you actually actively working on this business, or are you spending time doing things that aren't necessarily moving your business forward? Or was it that you weren't committed, right? Because we can kind of think that we're doing a thing, but we're not really doing the thing. Commitment. It's a big one, right? So it's really not, I could do a whole section on that, and I do in my course, and in my coaching, we spend a lot of time on this piece, because usually there's a lot of stuff that we have to, it's internal, right? I can give you all the tools. I could tell you, you need a time block and you need a schedule and you need to do all the da-da-da-das, right? And that's part of it. But actually, it's having a really, a stern conversation with yourself. And if you would like to, bounce any ideas off us here, go ahead and write it in the group for today, or over the weekend. In the next couple of days, we're here for you to do that. But I would encourage you to do some self-exploration. And so really, there is no resource for today other than a prompt, which is, am I committed to this idea? And explore that a little bit, right? I'm not going to say any more, because I can tend to this is where I want to yes, you can do it, jump in and be an encourager, and I'm here for you, but I only want to be able to encourage you if it's really truly something that you want to do. So that is it. That is our challenge. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you've had some clarity, a little piece of clarity about how you can build out the marketing for your business. Now, you might have come into this challenge thinking, well, she didn't talk about Instagram or she didn't talk about Facebook. Those are things that are the next part of that, because once you've committed to it, then you can decide where all of that is going to fall into place, right? And this is something that I do when I'm working with my students in a one-to-one capacity, or in my group coaching program, which I think is live right now if you're watching this video. So if you are interested in that, that will give you that extra bit of commitment and accountability and all of the things, and then going forward with your idea. But you can also do a lot of that by yourself, right? So I don't want you to think that, oh, the only way to do this is by getting a coach. It certainly helps and it certainly accelerates, but you can do it as well. Now you have the foundation, you know who you're speaking to, you know what your idea is, and you can put a lot of the other things together. So if you're interested in chatting to me about any of these things, I encourage you to schedule a call. Let's get on the phone and talk about it, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Hopefully you've gotten all your work done and you are free to go, right? So I'll talk to you soon, and have a great one.